And I'm rolling here. Hi, I'm Ron. It's my lunch break, and I'm going to be talking about Jesus. So, today, what I'm going to be talking about is Zen Buddhism, in particular, Zazen meditation, and the difference between Christian meditation and Eastern mysticism. For 20 years, I was a Zen Buddhist, lived at a Zendo at college, Kent State, and then did that for 20 years. Then heard the gospel at a couple pop festivals. A couple months later, boom, got born again, kind of like Acts chapter 2 with Paul. So, or is that Acts chapter 9? Anyhow, when Paul got lit up. So that's me. So I thought, well, I haven't seen a lot of people talking about, Christian folks talking about Zazen. And I'm seeing some people, church folk, going towards Zazen. I'm thinking, well, maybe you ought to know what you're getting into. So here it is. In Zazen, for Buddhism, it is to go beyond good and evil, death, to escape the cycle of birth, death, and that cycle. It's birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. There is this thing called karma, which in the Christian, the best like equivalent, it's not an equivalent, but something to understand. It's reaping and sowing. You reap what you sow. You get what you plant. Karma would be what you put out is what you get back. So, but there's different machinery. I'm just trying to explain it as best I can. Its similarities. The end game for Buddhism, to get beyond causality, get beyond good and bad, beyond God, no God, and to escape, it would be nirvana. Now, if I'm not doing it justice, this is a quick video. It's not the end all be all for Christianity or Buddhism. But talking about Zazen, did that a lot. So with Zazen, what Zazen is in a usually it's a seated posture. You're going to have stare at a wall, and you're going to let your thoughts come and go. And it is to neither give rise to a thought nor extinguish one. So if something good happens, cool, and if something bad happens, oh well, just deal with it. It'll go. Now that sounds all well and good, but the difference between Zazen and Christianity is with Christianity, you uh, you're going to have something scriptural going on. Oh, and by the way, one of the biggest differences between Buddhism and Christianity, uh, Buddha said he would point towards the truth. Jesus said he was the truth. Uh, in Christianity, all things start and end with Jesus. Not only, that he is God, the creator, the beginning and the end of all things. And I forget which, Thich Nhat Hanh, I've heard him talk about communion in that he would speak of, and I'm sidetracking here a little bit. He would say that all the universe is within the Eucharist, the communion wafer, but it ain't Jesus. It would be the universe, but not specifically Jesus. And so, and if I'm not doing justice, I'm not trying to hack Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm just trying to repeat the best I can at this point for in this conversation about Jesus saying he is all things. The mystical component would be all substance is him. You live in time and space. You have your beginning and end in him. Uh, in Buddhism, there would be, from what I heard, I hung out with a Zen master in Kent, Ohio, Zen master Tim, kind of like Tim the Enchanter in Monty Python. No kidding, Tim was the authentic Zen master. At least that's, he in his lineage, he was identified as having an experience. Now, with that being said, you have Jesus, the beginning and the end of all things, in Buddhism, you have no center. You have nothing. There is no origination of there. The original causation. You're not going to get there. Now, when you're doing Zazen, you're opening your mind up to that. It's the way it was described to me is you're trying to understand your own mind. And I might not even be doing it justice, but I'll repeat what I've learned. It is like a snake going down a tube, and you're forcing yourself to realize your own shape and to understand your own mind in the nature in the nature of the universe. And then you have an enlightenment experience. And in Christianity, it is not so much. And oh, by the way, you're working towards that. It is you meditate and you're working at that. Um, and I might not I might not be doing the enlightenment justice as far as describing it. However, there is a form and a function and a practice to it. In Christianity with Jesus, it is by faith, by you have one work to do, and that is to accept Jesus. And then it is in your mind, it is to receive the things of his word. So that if you're sitting and something is a sketchy thought, uncool, unkind, demeaning to you, self effacing or degrading or just negative, you are to take it captive. We take captive every thought that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. So you could meditate in that you might seek God and you might get quiet and enter into his rest, but you are not passively letting thoughts come and go. This is where I'll get kind of blunt is you start letting, I'm trying to get the lighting here, you start letting things in, you will meet other spiritual entities. There are no ghosts, but there are angels and demons. You start putting your brain in neutral and leaving the car doors unlocked of your mind, something's going to come in. You're going to have some weirdness go down. And in Buddhism, I was taught to never fight it. And in Christianity, it's just the opposite. Your goal is to behold Jesus in your mind and your heart, and you become what you behold. That you may sit and rest. Now, if you have a Buddhist and a Christian sitting side by side in the lotus position, and you might look the same, but on the inside, you've got two different functionalities and two different end games completely. And so if you're thinking about doing Zazen and you're a Christian and you're nominal and you don't have a good grounding in who you are, I'd say no. You're going down a different path. It's a different theology. If that's what you want, fine. But I would say you got a dead end road there that has a cliff to it. And because with Jesus, he says he's the truth, the life, and the way, and that he is he is the end goal. He's the end that we are achieving, not so much to commune with. Well, I'll use that, to commune with, because once you accept him by faith, you're in the family. You are born again, and you can commune with him. It is, I think it's in Romans, we behold in a mirror at first dimly who we are in reflection in comparison to him, but over time he reveals himself by his spirit, by his love. And in Christianity, there is a spirit. There is the Holy Spirit. It is completely different than any other theology. And in Buddhism, there are other spirits, and they will manifest differently. You'll have a more different moral code and a way of expressing it. Not saying that the Buddhist folks out there are all evil. No, I'm just saying the operating procedure behind it I ain't into. And it's going to be just about in direct opposition to Christianity. If you start on YouTube checking out the Zen Master dialogues, you'll hear him talk pretty honestly, and they're not hiding anything, about how if you said there, is there a God and is it Jesus? They'd be, no, it's not. And but you have to research that for yourself. So if you're starting to do Zazen, now sitting mindfully and being still, that's not putting your mind in neutral and letting all thoughts come and go and treating all thoughts as equal and not being the steward of your own mind. That's different. Being mindful and entering into rest while having an understanding and appreciation of Jesus, that's not Zazen. Now, if that's what you're searching for, go ahead and do it. Put some scriptures in your brain, enter into peace, and have yourself a good time. So, but if you're doing Zazen, you are seeking another deity. You are, they say Lord Buddha. It's not for nothing. They're like that to them. Buddha is Lord. Now, if you're into that, okay. But if you're not, if you're a Christian, dude, run away. It ain't going to get you no good. And I know this one for a fact because I was a Buddhist for 20 years. And then I saw I saw the end game, the end result for it, and not into it. Sorry. Met me some Jesus face to face. He's the only one living spirit. And he brings peace. And if you want, by the way, Zen means life. If you want the real Zen master, go follow Jesus. If Jesus or Buddha is pointing the way to the truth, then he's pointing to Jesus. So sit yourself down on a zafu, which is the Zen pillow, stare at a wall and think on Jesus and let me know how, might just work out for you. But it's meditating on him, Jesus, and his word that gets you anywhere good. So that's me thoughts on Zazen versus Christianity. If you're Buddhist, not hating you, but I have a difference of opinion for sure. And if you are Christian, dude, now you know a little bit more on it, know what you're getting into, because your brain, it is the garden of your soul. Tend to it well. Make sure there's no weeds there, and thoughts are either food or poison. So feed yourself the word and feed yourself some good food. So with that, I'm going to go back, finish my lunch. You guys have a happy January, and we'll catch you later. Peace.